This is a video simulation of the accident flight from the moment the aircraft entered the airspace of the Russian Federation. This investigation was conducted upon the decision of the governments of the Russian Federation and the Republic of Poland in accordance with Annex 13 to the Convention on International Civil Aviation. According to Standard 5.12 of Annex 13, the cockpit voice recorder record, as well as the transcript of cockpit communications, are published with permission of the judicial authorities in charge of the criminal investigation.
Force 101, position at skill, contact master control on 128.8, goodbye. 128.8,
In blue is the 3D aircraft flight path, calculated on the basis of the flight data recorder and terrain awareness and warning system data. It should be kept in mind that during the flight there were overcast stratus clouds and the ground was not visible. The left lower corner indicates the position of the aircraft with reference to the aerodrome with the distance provided in kilometres. The grid scale is 10 kilometres. The upper right corner shows the altimeter with altitude indicated in metres. In the left upper corner you can see the transcript of radio communications, and in the right lower corner the speakers are identified and the time is given. The presented dialogue showed handing over of the aircraft from the Minsk Air Traffic Control Center to Moscow Air Traffic Management Center. The aircraft was about 80 kilometers away from Smoleńsku aerodrome at an altitude of about 3,800 meters.
Good morning. Descend to 3,600 meters and the contact contact frequency 124.0. Descending 3,600 meters and contact 124.0.
The Moscow Air Traffic Management Center controller cleared the crew for further descent to 3,600 meters and instructed them to contact the Air Traffic Control Group of Smoleńsku Aerodrome, call sign Corsage. This fragment also illustrates the revealed fact that during the approach and landing there were persons in the cockpit other than the crew members.
Польский 101, Корсаж ответил. На дальний перебой, снижение 3600 метров. ПВС, конструкция 101. Остаток топлива сколько у вас? Осталось 1100. Запасной аэродром у вас какой? Витебск, Минск, правильно? Правильно.
After contact with Smoleńsku aerodrome was established, the controller asked the crew about the remaining fuel on board, 11 tons, and the alternative aerodromes, Minsk and Vitebsk. The communication was in Russian. The investigation team has not been provided with any documents that would confirm the crew's level of Russian. The general level of Russian demonstrated by the pilot in command was satisfactory. Most probably the other crew members did not have enough knowledge of the Russian language.
На Корсаже туман, видимость 400 метров. Zapomniał. To jest podobna... Artur? Artur, jestem.
No witamy Ciebie serdecznie. Wiesz co, ogólnie rzecz biorąc to pizza tutaj jest. Widać jakieś 400 metrów około i na nasz gust podstawy są poniżej 50 metrów grubo.
A wyście wylądowali już?
No nam się udało tak w ostatniej chwili wylądować. No natomiast powiem szczerze, że możecie spróbować jak najbardziej. 2 APM-y są, bramkę zrobili, także możecie spróbować, ale jeśli Wam się nie uda za drugim razem, to proponuję Wam lecieć na przykład do Moskwy albo gdzieś.
No dobra, profesorowi. Na razie.
No na razie, tak.
This is one of the key stages of the flight, which was actually the start of the chain of events that led to the accident. The chief air traffic controller of Smolensk 70 aerodrome warned the crew that there was fog at the aerodrome. Visibility was 400 meters and no conditions for landing. The crew confirmed they recognized this information. At this moment, the same information about bad weather was quite emotionally transmitted by the crew of a Polish Yakolev 40 aircraft that had landed at Smolensk 70 aerodrome earlier. The Tupolev 154 crew maintained communication with the Yakolev 40 crew from another radio station and using another frequency, so the air traffic control group of Smolensk 70 aerodrome could not hear this communication. Meanwhile, though informing about the extremely unfavourable weather, the Yakolev 40 crew suggested that the Tupolev 154 crew could try landing. Taking into consideration all the available information, as well as the fact that earlier, when starting descent from the cruise level, the Minsk controller warned the Tupolev 154 crew about fog and visibility of 400 metres, the only wise decision would have been to proceed to an alternative aerodrome, without further descent. At that point, the aircraft was 55 kilometres from Smolensk 70 aerodrome. However, the pilot in command requested clearance for a trial approach. The motivation for taking this decision is well explained in the final report. It was an international flight that was conducted in accordance with the rules of the aeronautical information publications of the Russian Federation and CIS countries. Following the provision of this publication, pilots in command of foreign aircraft operating in Russia shall make a decision about the possibility of landing at their destination aerodrome on their own and assuming full responsibility for the decision taken. The controller cleared them for the trial approach. Similar provision as to the rights and responsibilities of the pilot in command exist in the aviation regulations of the Republic of Poland. As you've heard, the crew did not report the selected approach system, nor did they request the landing radar support. Considering the weather conditions were unfavourable for landing, it meant for the air traffic control group that the crew would approach using their on-board navigation aids and taking on complete responsibility. Further, the air traffic control group only informed the crew about their position and the weather conditions within the capabilities of aerodrome facilities.
Areczku, Artur mówi tak, na ich ogo jest 400 metrów, 400 metrów widać, 300 metrów podstawy. Nie, no i się udało. Mówi też, że żyją w sposób prosty, że nie będzie. Pomyślnie. Wysłał była w tej chwili. W tych warunkach, które są obecnie, nie damy rady usiąść. Spróbujemy podejść, zrobimy jedno wejście, ale prawdopodobnie tyle nie będzie. Także proszę myśleć na wersji, że to będziemy robili. Paliwa nam tak dużo nie starczy, żeby wyszło. No to mamy dobry. Możemy pół godziny powiedzieć, ale to się na zapachać.